So you might have seen my last video where I got this laptop from 2014 and I actually upgraded it, and it actually turned into a very usable laptop. I was actually really shocked by the results last time. Well, today I'm going to be putting it to the ultimate test of can it game? Yes, can it game? So let's get into it, shall we? The laptop I'm using today is a Lenovo Z50-70. Which at its time of release cost around 1200 AUD. In terms of the specs of the laptop, it has an i5-4210U, 12 gigs of DDR3 running in dual channel mode, an Nvidia GeForce GT 820M, and a 120GB SSD that I just upgraded it to. All of this is powering a 1366x768 TN panel display. So let's see how it performs. Whoa, let's stop the video right there. If you could, subscribe, as it really helps out the channel and I've been putting more effort into my videos. Thanks! So here are the settings that Fortnite's given us. We're running at 1366x768, which is the resolution of this display. Unlimited frame rate, no VSync, and we've got everything on low at 100% resolution. And we're getting around 54 FPS. Which isn't bad. It's pretty playable, and it looks actually decent. You could conceivably play on this, and I think it's actually not a bad experience considering this laptop is from 2014. There is a little bit of tearing when I move the mouse around, so I'm going to tweak the settings a bit myself and see if that improves anything. Alright, so I've changed the settings to VSync on and 70% 3D resolution. And it is a much better experience right now, and this is looking already much better. Now the graphics are marginally worse, yes, because we are running that at 70% resolution, but it's actually really quite playable. But the real test of PC hardware is, can you get a kill with it? I see people fighting over there. I see him. Does he see me? 33? Tagged? Oh, is he chug splashing? That's a shield keg. Oh, he's fighting back. And yeah, you can kill actual players. That is an actual player, as you saw by his username. And yeah, it's sort of playable actually. It's actually pretty good. Okay, so yeah, Sweat Slayer YT. You know, you're gonna die to some people. But Fortnite's actually quite playable on this. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised. So I'm going to move over to a game like Valorant and see how that runs. Okay, so here are the settings we're running at. All low settings, VSync on, and then everything else set to the lowest. Alright, so the game looks kind of poop. It feels reasonably playable. 60 FPS, hitting the VSync limit. That's pretty good. Valorant is a game where you sort of need high and consistent FPS. So I'm quite happy with 60 FPS. As you can see, we're being CPU bound. One flank. See? You can easily get a kill. See? Very playable. Very playable. I got 2 kills that round. You do need VSync, otherwise you will get extreme tearing in every game essentially. But yeah, it's definitely playable. I'm curious as to what happens if I turn VSync off. Without VSync, yes, you will get higher than 60 FPS, but you'll also experience all this tearing that's going on. It's really not very playable without VSync on. So yeah, very playable. Alright, so we're currently in CS playing, and we're getting around 37, 40, 50. It's really quite variable in the refresh rate, and it really depends on where you are and what you're looking at. So I'd say it's probably the worst playing experience out of the bunch of games we've played so far. So yeah, 40 FPS, I don't know, this is where you're sort of meeting that limit of it's not very playable, especially in a title like CSGO, where it's sort of like Valorant in the fact that you need high FPS, high consistent frame rates and no tearing so that you have that competitive advantage over your opponent. But if you just wanted to play casually and play with your mates and do some dumb crap, yeah, I reckon you could probably play on this. So I'm actually really happy with the results. In most games you're able to get over 60 FPS consistently with VSync on, with some settings that are cranked down a little bit, but you can still play the game and it's still a very enjoyable and fun experience. With that being said, would I recommend it? Well, if you have an old laptop laying around and you can't afford much more, maybe upgrading it would help it and breathe new life into it really, because that's the joy of PC hardware, is that it's so upgradable and lasts a really long time if you look after it and maintain it. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, and as always, I'm Techbiz and I'm out.